Ladies and gentlemen, today I have something that I personally find exciting because over the last few years, one of the most standing question, one of the most asked question by clients is, how much will it cost me to build this house? Okay, everybody is interested in knowing how much it's going to cost them to build the house before they start, because that's very important for you. You have to know how much it's going to cost you, so if you have all the money at once, you can start, or if you can wait. And along the video, I'm going to show you if you wish to build in phases, like you don't have all the money at once to build the house, and maybe you want to do it in phases. I'm going to give you tips on what phases you can take breaks in the construction without compromising the integrity of what you've already built. Because I've seen people, they build houses and they stop at the wall plate, and then they take a break of about 2 years. And you find by the time they come to put the roof, maybe the bricks have already been ripped off, things of that sort, So I'm going to give you a few hints here and there at every stage where you can save costs and where you can understand why someone would build a house at 80 million shillings and the other person would build the same house at 120 million shillings. Or one would build a house at 200 million, another would build the same house at 150 million. There are really a lot of things that differ. There are really a lot of expenses that differ. Some of them are worth it, some of them are not worth it. They're just out of ignorance. But don't worry, I'm going to take you through all these things. So we are going to build this house in phases. We are going to build it together. The first phase is going to be, we are going to build it straight from the foundation up to the wall plate. And then the second phase, we are going to do the roofing. We are going to do the roofing, we are going to do the ceiling as well, okay, because they work together, they go together. Then in the third phase, you're going to do the plastering, both the inside and the outside. And then in the fourth phase, we are going to do, in the fourth phase, we are going to fit in our windows. We are going to know how much it's going to cost us to buy windows, how much it's going to cost us to fit them in. And then in the fifth phase, we are going to do our complete finishing, where we are going to do the painting, we are going to do the tiling. Now, I know the painting and tiling and finishing of the cabinets and wardrobes, that can be quite subjective. I mean, someone will, for example, let me give an example. You find tiles where you'll need to spend about 50,000 shillings per square meter on just tiles alone. And then there's another type of tiles, there's another supplier of tiles who's going to charge you around 100,000 per square meter. So the part of finishing is really, it varies a lot. Today I'm going to start with, we are going to build from the foundation up to the wall plate. And I'm going to explain to you what considerations that we've considered before we can make these costings, so that you'll understand why it's costing that much that we are costing it to be. And we are mainly doing the bills of quantities for this today. So before we go into all that, so we're going to talk about what kind of house we are talking about right now. So without taking a lot of time, I'll let you have a tour around the house, and then you'll let me know what you think about it, what you think should have changed, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, what you'd have done differently, what fascinates you about it. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. I will be bringing you such content more and more often. Please have a tour and let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I love the house personally. I'm going to break down now for you the actual specifications of the house. What are the sizes of the bedrooms? What are the sizes of the bedrooms? How many washrooms does it have? All things like that. So we have a master bedroom that is about 15.6 square meters, and it has a bath that is large enough. It's 5.7 square meters. And then if you notice the bedroom is large enough, it has walk-by closets. It's fitted with walk-by closets. Then we have a guest bedroom that is actually the same size in terms of square meters as the master bedroom. It has a bathroom of 4.7 meters. Oh, now I want you to notice that all these bathrooms have been designed wide enough to have even bathtubs, because I've seen people who get their houses designed and then at the later stage when they want to fit in a bathtub, it does not fit. That's why it's important that your designer knows the standards of different fittings and plumbings, you know. The living room is 23 square meters. It's open plan, but if you demarcate it well, the living room is 23 square meters. The dining is 11 square meters, and the kitchen is 17 square meters. Okay, so it has 2 other bedrooms. Each of them is 13.2 square meters, and they all share a common bathroom with the visitors as well. And the bathroom is 5.5 square meters. That is large enough to even have laundry services go on in the bathroom. Okay, so we have 2 verandas. We have a front veranda and we have the one at the back. The one at the front is 18.5 square meters, and the rear veranda is 10.0 square meters. Okay. Then the other space that we haven't counted is maybe the entry foyer. The entry foyer is should be about the entry foyer, but all in total, after you've counted everything, the whole house is about 170 square meters. That is really large. 170 square meters. That is not small. With all that said, let's now dive into the costing. How much is this house going to cost us? Okay. How much is this house going to cost us? So, just a moment. Now the assumptions that we've done. The first item we are going to discuss the bricks. One thing I want to make clear about the bricks is that we've considered that the outer walls of this building, the outer walls of this house, are made with a header bond. A header bond is a bond in which the shorter side of the brick is along the wall, or the longer side of the brick forms the thickness of the wall. So that is going to require you more bricks per square meter. Okay, and then all the internal walls are going to be built with stretcher bond. These are just the assumptions that we've taken into consideration. The inner walls are going to be having they're going to be made of a stretcher bond, which means that the shorter side of the brick, okay, forms the thickness of the wall. Okay, so having put that into consideration, we are going to need 60,000 bricks. Now, each brick, if we consider using mud bricks, the red mud bricks, each brick costs about 220 shillings. So the total is going to be 13.2 million shillings. That is for bricks alone. And if you choose to use clay bricks, each brick is about 350 shillings to 400 shillings. That we are not considering. And we have lake sand. Lake sand, we are going to need 15 trips forward, and that is each trip at 250,000. That makes it a total of 3.75 million. We have plaster sand. We are going to consider 12 forward trips, and each trip of plaster sand is around 200,000 shillings, which brings the total to 2.4 million shillings. Cement. Remember, for cement, what we are considering here, we are not considering just up to the wall plate. We are considering that the cement is going to also, this cement is also going to do the parts of the foundation, and as well as casting the ground floor slab. Okay, so you have your slab finished without putting the extra screed. So we need 200 bags of cement, each at 27,000 shillings, which makes it 5.4 million. Then you will need 22 trips of marram forward. You know, this can really be tampered with, but we are taking the safest path. So we'll need about 22 trips of marram, each at 100,000 shillings. That is 2.2 million shillings. But you can save on this. You can save on this really by using the backfill. If you've cut out some soil from the ground, you know, you can still fill it somewhere. You can still fill it somewhere and cut down on this number of trips of marram. Okay, so we have aggregates. We are going to consider machine crushed aggregates. We have machine crushed aggregates, the gray ones, the black gray ones, and then we have hand crushed aggregates. These ones that you see that are usually brown. For a bungalow, I would not have a problem using them. if it is a storied building, I would strictly recommend that we use machine crushed aggregates, because if you use hand crushed aggregates, a lot of them have a lot of debris around them. They have a lot of dirt around them, so they do not easily bond with concrete. And if that concrete is being used for sensitively structured purposes like beams and columns and slabs, that can be quite dangerous to your slab. Okay, so in this case we're using machine crushed aggregates, and each forward trip is 350,000 shillings, bringing the total to 6.3 million. Okay, then we will need hardcore. We'll need 22 trips of hardcore, each at 250,000, bringing our total to 5.5 million. And then we have iron bars. Each iron bar is around 12 meters. So each iron we are going to need 30 pieces of Y12, which some of you call H12. Y12, and each is going to be 38,000 shillings. That brings the total, if we make 30 bars, that brings the total to 1.14 million. For ropes, we are going to need, the ropes for setting out the building, sometimes tying the scaffolding. We'll need 3 rows, and each roll is at 15,000, which makes it 45,000. And then for poles, we have these Eucalyptus Poles. They are used for some of them are used for scaffolding, others are used for holding the bottoms at the openings like the doors and the windows. Those you will know. So for poles, we will need 120 poles. Each is at 4,000 shillings. That brings our total to 480,000 shillings. Then we will need hoop iron metal. Hoop iron metal, we will need 10 rolls of hoop iron metal, and each is at 35,000 shillings, which brings our total to 350,000 shillings. So nails at this stage, I know you'll need 3-inch nails, you'll need 4-inch nails, you'll need 6-inch nails, but we'll total this all together, and we are making we will need about 30 kilograms of nails, and about 24 kilograms of nails, and each kilogram is 5,000 shillings roughly. It could be 6,000, it could be, we're taking 5,000, and that brings us to 120,000 shillings. And then for the building strings, we will need 3, each at 10,000 shillings, which brings it to 30,000 shillings. Then we will need also plane sheets. The plane sheets are what we use for making round columns, the columns that are round. So we will need 2 sheets because we have 2 columns. Each sheet is about 70,000 shillings, which brings our total to 140,000 shillings. So for timber, like I said, we will need about 3 kinds of timber roughly. We will need the timber 4x2, that is in inches, 4 inches by 2 inches. Then we will need the 9x1 timber, that is still inches, and then we will need timber bottoms. Okay, so for the 4x2 timber pieces, we will need about 110 pieces, and each piece is at 7,500 shillings, which brings the total to 825,000 shillings. Then 9x1, we will need about 100 pieces. 9x1 is basically what we use to put in the sides of the ring beam of the ring beam. Okay, so 100 pieces each at 15,000 shillings makes it a total of 1.5 million shillings. Then for timber bottoms, we will need 50 pieces each at 4,500 shillings, which brings our total to 225,000 shillings. Then we will need these other tools that we need on site. We need 4 spades each at 20,000, bringing the total to 80,000 shillings. We will need 4 hoes each at 20,000 shillings, which makes it 80,000 shillings. Then pangas, we will need 2 at 10,000 shillings each, which makes it 20,000 shillings. Then we'll need ring wires. We are using R7 rings. 80 pieces each at 7,500 shillings, which makes it 600,000 shillings in total. Then we'll need binding wire. We'll need 2 rolls of binding wire, each at 120,000 shillings, bringing us to a total of 240,000 shillings. Then the pickaxe, we might need 2 of them, each at 20,000 shillings, which brings the total to 40,000 shillings. Then we have miscellaneous things that that we might not have considered, or that might have come around because of the constraints on site, you never know. So we are putting the miscellaneous to 1 million shillings. And then so what we've not counted is labor. So with our house complete from the foundation up to the foundation up to the wall plate, it's going to cost us, if you've been writing down, 45.965 million shillings. That is 45,965,000 shillings. That is just for materials. We have not considered the labor, and we've not considered the costs of excavation if your site can be tricky. We've not considered all that, and the transport that delivers material to site. So where we are at 45,965,000 shillings. That is where we are at. So in the next episode, I'll be bringing you the roofing.